Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now. And now, part 2 of Milestones After Healing.
So, welcome to this episode of Touched and Empowered. I'm Katie here with Ace, and our topic today is unexpected bursts of growth
that I'm currently going through right now.
I think everyone has unexpected bursts of growth.
I agree.
But I think most commonly known is growth spurts when we're kids.
Yeah, because we feel it at a physical level.
Because we feel it at a physical level. But there's other types of random spurts of growth that we go through on a subconscious level, on an emotional level, on a self-development level,
on an eating chocolate level.
Yes, in desperate needs of chocolate.
I'm so grateful that one of our pillars on this podcast is genuine.
Yes.
Because you're getting the genuine me today. With cookies.
With cookies. Well, you know what? You got cookies. I got milkshake. I got a special treat today. Unexpectedly. So we love those. Yeah. Unexpected bursts of growth.
How does one question somebody going through unexpected bursts of growth? Let's get this relatable to anyone who's listening.
So we're questioning when we notice it or when we notice it in others?
Feel free to ask me so we can put me in perspective. Also, if you're watching the YouTube, I keep finding this halo thing going on. And I literally gave Katie like a mini tour of my house on Zoom before getting on this call. And everywhere I went, there was like a halo behind me.
It's just because you're radiating.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Which again, that happens with growth.
Oh.
Well, I mean, think about it. Anytime that there's a large spurt of growth, there's a lot of energy with it, and energy normally transfers over to either light vibration or it's some kind of vibration, so that translates to light or sound.
Yeah. Which is interesting you say that because when we hopped on this call today, I was like, all right, let's put the real me on this. No makeup. Hair's up. Haven't finished my nails. Oh, growth. How beautiful.
And a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I'm radiating. This is very fascinating.
Well, I mean, here's what I've noticed. And I can say this because I noticed it earlier today. My son stopped by earlier today with one of his friends, hence why I got a milkshake. They decided to treat me and bring me one as a thank you for crocheting something for his friend. And he was telling me about this new internship that he's going to be doing. Because he's in college studying to be a history teacher. So he's actually going to start internship where he will be a substitute teacher to kind of start the process on, I guess, getting street credit for becoming a teacher. I don't know how else to describe it. But the way that he described it about the process that he had gone through and how there was a group interview and then there was an onboarding process that they had 2 days to get all of the documentation and everything in. The fact that he realized that the onboarding process with a deadline was a way to weed out the procrastinators was very enlightening. And I could see him realize that's what it was for.
Mm.
and he knew that he needed to step up and make sure that he got it all done today, even though it's not due until tomorrow.
That's funny. I actually gave somebody a similar perspective, but please continue as you're.
So
Yeah.
seeing him talk about this and him realizing his aha and moving forward with it, he radiated this energy as to, I figured it out.
Mm.
And that's maybe not a huge growth spurt for some people, but as a parent seeing it in their child, it really is a radiating moment seeing that light bulb go off.
Mm.
So will always be proud of my son, but this was like one of those extra proud moments.
It's like, you got it.
It's like, you're doing so much better than me. I'm so proud of you.
Yay. Oh, but that's really sweet. That means like it's so much easier. I always find that it's easier to do any task once I understand there's a purpose to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise I don't do it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what's the point in doing a task if you don't see the purpose in doing it?
People do it all the time.
Right. But for those of us who are more mission driven, he's on a mission to be a history teacher. He's on a mission to graduate within 4 years from when he started college. He knows what his path is, and being able to see these aha moments while he's still in the process and trying to get to his goal, he's not seeing them as stumbling blocks. He's seeing them as stairs to get there.
And there's so much more radiation. Oh my.
Yes, you're radiating even more now.
Sorry, folks. I don't know what it is. Apparently I'm beaming and Zoom is just picking it up. Every time I'm like, but it's very accurate. I love what you said, Katie, when it comes to understanding it's not just like walk a step, not know where you're going. It's like these are the stairs to the goal that you want to achieve. That's really important.
Recognizing that is another form of growth, because otherwise we just think of it as a stumbling block.
Oh yeah. That's why a lot of people ask you to create some type of goal or mission or like a vision for yourself. It does make understanding those air quote stumbling blocks or obstacles, like they give it meaning so that you keep moving.
Right, because it's evidence that you're moving one step closer.
There you go. My evidence is everything is getting more expensive. So that means I need to grow financially.
That is one way, yes. And in my case, it was learning to grow as into my finances are not changing right now, so I need to be better at managing the money.
Ah, yeah.
So that was another aha and growing moment.
Yeah. It was interesting because we're getting on this call, we're talking about the growth spurt.
Mm-hmm.
I was like telling Katie, I'm like, like, I mean, I don't think she could see it as visually as you can on this YouTube video, right, if you're watching YouTube. But very similarly, I was just like going nuts because my dog's getting bigger.
Well, I think we all have times in our lives where everything just seems to be growing around us, and we're not quite sure if we're ready to grow with it.
Which is actually a sign that you actually grew within first. Otherwise, yes, things around you won't be growing.
Yes, we don't see it.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to see growth in others than it is in ourselves. Because we unfortunately will always be our own worst critic.
Yeah. Critic is one thing. Yeah. I also think like when you're in it, you're like, you're like going through the growth pain. You're going through like, remember when you were going through your growth spurts when you were a kid, your legs hurt at night because you're
Constantly.
constantly, because you were growing on an emotional and spiritual level, you're doing the same thing.
Right. Sometimes there are the physical aspects of that kind of growth. Sometimes there are not the physical aspects. There's just the emotional aspects, and that can sometimes feel just as physical as if they were physical aspects.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And what are the causes of growth spurts? Let's actually look at that on a physical level and see if we can figure it out if there's a metaphorical link to that. I'd love to know.
Physical reasons for growth spurts?
Yeah, what are the physical reasons for growth spurts? Shall we ask ChatGPT, the all-knowing?
Okay, so spiritual and emotional growth spurts serve as a pivotal period of transformation that helps individuals align more deeply with their authentic selves and the world around them. These spurts often arise from challenges, changes, or new insights, and their purpose includes the following. Number one is deepen self-awareness. Number two is promoting healing, which there is a little blurb on each one of these if you want me to read those two.
Please do, all-knowing ChatGPT reader.
Okay, so deepening self-awareness. Growth spurts encourage introspective and a deeper understanding of one's values, beliefs, emotions, and desires. This self-awareness fosters a stronger sense of identity and purpose. For promoting healing, it says emotional and spiritual growth often involves facing and resolving past traumas, emotional wounds, or limiting beliefs. This process allows for emotional release and healing, creating space for greater inner peace.
Well, that's why I yelled.
That's probably why you yelled, yes.
Hard. Loud. Reverberation through the universe. Please.
Number three is building resilience. Through navigating challenges, individuals develop resilience, adaptability, and a stronger sense of inner strength. These periods often teach lessons that equip people to face future difficulties with greater confidence. Hence, stumbling block becoming a step. That makes sense. Expanding perspective. Growth spurts often shift perspectives, encouraging individuals to view themselves, others, and the world with greater empathy, compassion, and understanding. This broadened outlook promotes a deeper connection to others and a sense of unity. Number five is aligning with purpose. As individuals grow, they may feel a stronger pull towards their life purpose or calling. Emotional and spiritual growth clarifies priorities and helps guide decisions in alignment with core values. That one makes a lot of sense.
Is that why we're being really genuine today? Core values.
That could be why you're being very extra genuine today.
I'm being so extra, not extra, but extra genuine. Here's the reality, folks. I am like this. No added sauce. This is here, right here.
Okay, so.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. All right, next one.
Oh.
Number six is enhancing relationships. Personal growth improves the ability to connect authentically with others. It fosters better communication, empathy, emotional intelligence, and enriching personal and professional relationships.
So the authenticity of me snapping today. By the way, I snapped at someone today, just as a nice little click. Not because, other than I had enough. I snapped at, it's gonna sound funny, but I snapped at something today, and afterwards, for whatever reason, my dog started behaving. Well, I didn't snap at my dog, by the way. It's fascinating. Right. My dog started behaving. My mother called me back like, "Hi, how are you?" Right? Right, Peppy?
I'm assuming your mom was not who you snapped at.
My mom wasn't who I snapped at. Well, she got a little bit of a snap, but like I gave her the understanding of like I'm doing my best not to like to come at you with something. I was
Right.
actually like hungry. If you're a woman, I understand your female hormones because I have them. Right. Don't get me wrong, males also have those hormones as well.
Yes.
It's just a little bit different, and for whatever reason, at this time of the year or month or whatnot, they're heightened. So I remember telling my mom, I was like, I'm sorry, I haven't eaten yet. I'll call you back. I'll understand in a minute. And I took a moment, yelled, took a breath, and then somebody else came and got the other snap. I don't know what it was, but this one over here, puppy, understood. Right? Good girl. Yeah, she understood and started behaving. And then mom started behaving. And then a friend was on the phone with me and started behaving. And everyone was just like, ooh, okay.
I think that that's part of the communication that we just want to have
Mm-hmm.
in relationships with friends, family, coworkers, pets, whomever,
Mm-hmm.
because having that kind of communication to let people know I'm in a bad mood right now,
Or I'm
or
struggling,
I'm
or some,
struggling, or I'm
or you,
stressing, or I'm overwhelmed.
and it's
That was
not
the hardest.
you.
And it's not you, it's me.
Yep.
And as bad as that sounds in a breakup, in open communication, it really does help the relationships.
Oh yeah, especially when I'm like, I'm trying my best to communicate. I'm not trying to hurt you. Like just give
Yeah.
me a minute to get my stuff together, breathe. I love you. I'll come back. And it's funny because as soon as I did what I needed to do, right now I'm actually cuddling my dog. Here, I'll show you. Because she needed some love. She was like, Mom, did I do something wrong? Mom, did I do something wrong?
Okay, so you want me to keep reading?
Yes, please. Come on, Pop.
Okay, so next is number 7, raising consciousness.
Mm.
Spiritual growth in particular is often about transcending ego-driven behaviors and connecting with a higher sense of meaning or universal truth. It fosters a sense of interconnectedness and encourages living in alignment with higher principles.
Mm.
Number 8 is encouraging authenticity. These spurts push individuals out of comfort zones, challenging them to shed false identities and societal expectations. This process encourages living a more genuine and fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So, yes, normally for us to be our authentic selves, we do have to be very uncomfortable getting there.
All right. This is something that I've also learned. Watch something and it was so uncomfortable that all you wanted to do was laugh because it felt so weird. Have you ever been in that space?
I have.
My biggest tip for the discomfort in any moment that's really uncomfortable, find something to laugh about. And if you laugh out loud in somebody's face, I think it's okay. They might think you're insane, but
Yes.
honestly, it's probably better to.
It's kind of like the nervous giggle when you see something and you don't know how to respond to it.
I do one over. I just go with it. Like I
No nervous giggle, just full out
no
laughter.
no yeah. As soon as I do that, people kind of I've seen people go maybe wrong time for you to do that. But when it's just like so uncomfortable and you're growing, right? So it hurts and things are weird and you don't know what to do. And like, honestly, sometimes laughter can be infectious.
Yes.
It can help the room. It also just makes life a little more enjoyable to live.
And I really think just finding the joy and finding the fun in it helps as well. And it's really how we talk to ourselves. The best example I can give is one that I heard recently. One of my mentors was saying that there's a difference between saying, I have to take out the trash and I get to take out the trash.
That's actually a big highlight. I use that one a lot. It helps a lot.
It does, because the have to feels like a negative
Or a drain.
or a drain versus I get to. Why do I get to take out the trash? Because I have a house. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So it just remembering that we can tweak those little bits of languages, even in uncomfortable situations where we burst out laughing and stuff. Recognizing what words we could use to help keep it in that positive tone, I think helps a lot as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you an example of the discomfort and how you can laugh at it, right?
Okay.
There's a bunch of examples that are floating in my mind. But my favorite, so I remember I was going through a pretty intensive day where I was listening to a lot of friends who were going through many different ranges of stuff, mainly on the heavy side of life, struggles with grief, struggles with not getting what they've been wanting, and they're like really yearning for it. Then I had this one friend. And mind you, I'm also kind of with a group of people that I'm still kind of learning and getting to know, right?
Okay.
This person just straight out tells them, I want this. And it's like on the me and whatnot. And it was so like blatant. Maybe I could probably so essentially
it was completely out of nowhere based off of everything else going on in the conversation or the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And from which I really, I appreciated, and I was really grateful because this individual trusted me this much, and she felt safe to share what she really wanted out loud.
Yes.
But I caught the other three people off guard. I was like, this is wonderful. I want to cry because I knew this person so deeply and so well that like when she said it out loud, I went, that's great. Like I was so happy that they were honest.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that there are a lot of things that we want in our lives that we don't say because we are concerned that people are going to judge us.
Right. Yeah. And if you want to know what that is, folks, you can DM us or you can email us. I don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah, we don't want to say that out loud, but I know the story because you shared the story with me earlier.
Yeah, just put in like if you really want to know, just put in the episode. Ace is wearing an orange shirt. What what was the thing? I'd love to tell you, just not online. So
yeah, just not in the podcast. But it's one of those things that we, when someone has one of those moments of pure honesty and vulnerability of what it is that they want for their growth, for their development. Yes, I can see where people will not understand, but the fact that we hold space for them so then that way they can express it is one of the best gifts we can give them.
For a long time, I honestly thought that was the only gift you needed to give somebody.
That is amazing awareness because for me, that was not how I was raised.
I don't think I was raised that way either, but but it was something that I knew I want. Like once I got the first, when I got the first hint of that, the first way, like the first experience of that, of somebody sitting with me and going, okay, and like validating my emotions, holding the space for me to think
Right.
and feel without judgment. And the moment I learned how to do that, or gosh, I don't remember when I learned how to do that. I think I started doing that when I was like really young. And maybe one of my preschool, I got to remember who it was. One day I'll find out. But that's all I needed. Like I didn't need somebody to give me gel pens, even though they were nice. I didn't
Right.
need somebody to give me like expensive gifts, even though those were nice. I appreciate them. You know, that's your way of giving. Um, but if I had that, somebody who knew how to hold space for me in any given moment, that's really all I wanted. Because then it really connects empathy. And yes, it allows you to grow. The moment you kind of can't do that with somebody, it actually stunts growth between the two individuals.
Yeah. And
But you can't do it with other people. The same.
right. And one of the things that it does is it allows the person who feels heard to process that really, really, really fast. So then that way it doesn't become stuck and feed into a potential limiting belief about themselves.
Yes. And I also found out later on that not many people know how to give that.
True.
Wow. It took me a while, actually. I was like, it wasn't until recent that I was like, wow. Hmm.
It's a skill to learn. You know, some people are raised with having family members or friends who are able to hold space and let them have that 15 seconds to process whatever the heck it is, feel heard, feel, for lack of a better term, acknowledged and justified that it's okay for them to feel that way. And then it's processed and it's gone. And then they can then move forward with a more happy and positive attitude. And that's
That
one
was
of the
a,
things that we talk about a lot with the Teen Suicide Prevention Society is holding that space so someone feels heard.
yeah. Because in that space is actually a matter of life and death. Can you believe that?
Yes, I do. And I know.
Mm. For the
But
listeners out there,
feeling heard,
yeah.
every human deserves to be heard and
And
feels the need
validated
to be heard and validated.
and valued.
And you can listen, hold space, and acknowledge whatever it is that they say, even if you don't believe it yourself. Acknowledge that that is how they are feeling in that moment, and it helps.
For some people, yes. Yes. So
Okay.
there was a point that you mentioned about, and I do want to challenge that. Even if you don't believe it, now some people can sense when you don't believe it,
True.
and then they don't trust you, even though you're listening. It's really interesting.
It is,
Um,
but there's neutral language that can be used that acknowledges what you heard,
mhm.
lets the person feel like they've been heard without you saying, I agree with you or I don't agree with you.
Mm, interesting. So I always find that in that moment when I hear somebody not believe me, I immediately retract. And they can acknowledge what I'm saying, and I can sense when they're doing it out of shallow, like, okay, I'm here for you, but whoa. Um,
Yes. Well, that's the difference between passive listening and active listening. The
you can also
best,
actively not believe somebody. I'm
well,
sorry, I'm just saying this in a
y-
way of where I'm like,
yeah,
this is what I've
well,
experienced.
okay, here's what I've experienced. I know that there have been times someone said that they were listening to me, and I challenged it by giving them the biggest load of BS on the planet. And the only response they had was, okay. That's how I knew that they were not actively listening to me. I had somebody else who started out passive listening, gave the same line of BS, and they're like, wait a minute, this is what I'm hearing you say. Am I hearing you and understanding you correctly?
Mm.
And that's when I knew that they were actively listening and actually holding space for me to say what it is that I needed to say versus just, for lack of a better description, blowing smoke.
Gotcha. All right, I hear that. That makes sense. I think one of the triggers when I hear somebody not believe me is when they invalidate. Because it could be
Right.
passively like, uh-huh.
Well, again, it's not just making acknowledgement sounds or anything. It is the acknowledging, I heard you say this.
Mhm.
It's the acknowledging what is actually being said. And if you don't understand what's being said, asking for clarification. If you are comfortable clarifying it, this is what I heard.
Ooh, now see, that's actually a really great way to do that. I love what you just said. If you don't mind clarifying, could you elaborate on X, Y, and Z? This
Right.
is what I heard. Could you explain further so I understand better?
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
one example that I heard was, you're asking me about this. Obviously, this really means something to you. Why is that?
Mm. It's
You know,
important to you. Why? Yes.
and getting to the reason as to why it's important, because someone, for example, could be going on and on and on about why it's important to take a multivitamin every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And when you dig deeper into it, you can find out that it's based off of the belief that if you don't take your multivitamin, you're going to get sick. Now, that's a
Interesting.
belief that they have. There's nothing wrong with that belief, even if I personally don't agree to it, but at least now I know why they're saying what they're saying.
Mm.
So I can acknowledge that. Thank you for explaining that to me. That makes sense. I'm glad you know what works for you. That's not saying that they're wrong because I don't agree with it. That's just acknowledging that they are where they are, and that makes them feel heard.
We're doing our best here.
Yes.
I love you. So, yes, acknowledging in the instance of where the belief is coming from and how that could actually not just validate, but acknowledge the reasons as to why someone is feeling that way.
Right.
Right.
But it's
Like right
also
now.
holding the space and not trying to tell them that they're wrong, not trying to fix it.
Oh my gosh, that's annoying as crud. Folks.
It
Yeah.
does. And by doing that, it takes away the fact that you held space for them to be vulnerable with you in the first place.
Oh, it loses trust so quickly. So quickly.
You know, so just acknowledging what you've heard, and thank you for sharing that with me.
So
I now understand your perspective.
Mhm.
It's one of those things that I think a lot of people could practice more.
Yeah. I agree. Especially when they're not distracted by a puppy.
When they're not distracted by a puppy or social media or email or any of these other wonderful things that go on in our world that distracts us.
Yeah. Including this new way of perceiving me at this angle of video. Thank you, Nicole. This is fine. You can use this angle. This is all part of it all. We're being authentic as much as possible. Not that puppy.
It's all about new perspectives. And that's another part of growth.
Yeah. Did we finish the list of growth from ChatGPT?
There's actually one left, which is catalyzing transformation.
I
Growth
think that's where we're at.
spurts. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. Growth spurts act as catalysts for profound life changes, whether it's shifting careers, improving health, deepening spiritual practices, or pursuing long-held dreams. Ultimately, spiritual and emotional growth spurts are opportunities for transformation, helping individuals evolve into a more balanced, aware, and fulfilling versions of themselves. Though they can be uncomfortable or even painful, they are integral in personal development and lead to a richer, more meaningful life experience.
Yes. We agree.
We agree.
We
So
agree.
I would say all of those make sense, and all of those we can dive deeper on all of them. I know that we did not dive deep on all of them in this podcast, but it is something well, it would end up being a really long podcast if we did.
That too. Yes. Thank you, Midnight.
So, but I know as life coaches, as healing coaches, as transformational coaches, you and I have worked with dozens, if not hundreds of clients in every one of these aspects.
Mm-hmm. Everyone.
As Midnight puts in their 2 cents.
Yeah. Oh, my puppy. Yeah. And now she's chill. But it is true. And it's funny because every time we experience growth, we receive resistance, especially the growth spurts. Because,
yes.
So what I've learned about growth spurts, especially this part of the growth spurt, there is like a burst of energy that comes out to help break through whatever last layer there is. So, for instance, a plant, right? They will keep growing until they hit the surface, and they just need that one last bit of oomph to push them through. Yeah. Yep. So that they can get to the surface and see sunlight. I'm at that right now, folks. You can see that, can you?
But that's the beauty of this. I mean, even if in the moment it feels incredibly uncomfortable, the growth that we experience is a beautiful experience. And just honoring and acknowledging that might not make it more comfortable, but you will feel better about it when it's done.
Mm-hmm. And your dog will calm down, apparently.
And it's all about calming the savage beast
within.
And on that note, we are going to have to wrap up this episode because we are coming up on time. Yes. So thank you, everyone, for being a part of our journey, and we are glad to be a part of yours.
Yes, 100%. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.